Goldie here, and today we're going to talk about wrestling. On today's episode, we are doing a special pre-Royal Rumble prediction podcast. Rumble season is here. We are on the road to WrestleMania. The WrestleMania sign is up inside the Alamo Dome, and Rumble season just hits different, doesn't it? Pleased to be joined once again by Donjay and Godflow. Donjay, how are you doing today, good sir?
It's Christmas time in the city.
It's Christmas time in the city. Flo, how we feeling?
Oh, we're feeling good. The entire day during SmackDown yesterday, all I could think of is we're less than 24 hours away from the Rumble. It is like, just all the presents under the tree today. As you said, the WrestleMania sign is up, and I am excited.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So we're gonna try to keep this fairly short. I know a lot of people have like Rumble traditions that they're gonna want to do and whatnot. But the supposed order of the card, starting with the men's Rumble, then we have Bianca versus Bliss, Bray versus LA Knight, the women's Rumble match, and ending the night with Roman versus Kevin Owens. So we're going to get right into it, starting with the men's Rumble match. How many guys are declared? Like 17, 18?
17.
It's less than 20, which I am so happy about. I love surprises. I deliberately stopped scrolling Twitter like 2 weeks before the Rumble because I want to be surprised. I did accidentally ruin one for myself today, but I kind of knew it was going to happen. So maybe not ruined, but I was like, okay, yeah, no, I figured that would be the case. But let's get right into it. I'm going to start with Donjay. What do you think's going to happen?
A lot of chaos, a lot of fun spots. I think with the men's Royal Rumble, they announce more people just because there's probably going to be fewer surprises than the women.
Right.
But I fully expect, like we talked about on the pod a few days ago, this is where stories for WrestleMania begin.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to seeing some interaction between Dom and Ray and the Judgment Day. I'm looking for some interactions with the Good Brothers in Judgment Day because they've really been stirring the pot lately. I'm looking for some Bobby versus Brock, and then I'm looking for, like I said, the surprises that we don't know. We've heard rumblings of some things, but I like to hear something out of left field.
What about you, Flo?
So this is Triple H's first Rumble. No longer the same thing. So it's like, what do we expect? And the less things, as Goldie stated earlier, the less things we do expect, the better it gets. It's going to be absolutely insane. I think we're going to get surprises out of left field. I mean, they did 900 Cody vignettes, and
Did you guys know that Cody was going to be in the Rumble? It might be a spoiler, but did you know Cody's going to be there?
I didn't quite see the clips. I heard there were a few videos.
It's crazy. Who could have guessed?
But, I mean, I could see why they did it. I mean, it builds into his story, but it's like Cody. I mean, that's one of the ones you want to see. He was at the absolute peak when he went down and competed in that Hell in a Cell match. So his story alone, I'm very interested to see where we taken that. And like Donjay alluded to a little bit earlier, it's just going to be chaos, story building. I know on the podcast we mentioned, like, where are some of these stories going? Tonight, I'm hoping we finally get answers, some chaos, some surprises. The men's Rumble is, if that's kicking off the night, that doesn't usually happen. I mean, it's just going to be insane.
Yeah, we don't normally get the men's Rumble starting things. If anything, it would be the women's Rumble. But that's going to be the penultimate match of the night, apparently. All right, so Pick 1 or 2 surprise returns for the men's rumble. We'll
I'm
start with
shooting.
Donjay.
I have Logan Paul. Got to get him in
Really?
there some. Absolutely.
It's been 3 months.
But he hasn't been back since he lost to Roman. And
But
you
it's
got to get.
been didn't he tear his ACL and his MCL?
That is what was said, but apparently that wasn't the case.
Oh, we're doing that, huh?
Well, that's what the initial thought was, and that's what he thought it was. But his knee is fine. So I am calling Logan Paul because he has to be in Hollywood for WrestleMania. And then as another surprise return, we'll probably get Edge back. He hasn't been on for a few months. Perfect time to get him back in.
All right, what about you, Flo?
So with the surprises, I think I'm going to follow suit with Donjay here, and it's just going to be injury returns, I'm hoping. Even though they might be storyline injuries and not real. Logan Paul, for one. Riddle is definitely should be due back. And then the big one that I want to see probably more than ever, can we get Rick Boogs back?
No, that was mine!
Can we please get Rick Boogs back with the guitar?
That was my pick.
You should have known.
Yeah,
I should have known. No, stop. You're both ruining my pick. So I have Rick Boogs returning and deliberately eliminating Nakamura and starting a feud.
How dare you?
Don't do this to us. You're breaking our heart.
No. Y'all tried to steal my pick, so I'm going to flip the script. I also am holding out. I have a couple. I wrote down like 6 things I wanted to talk about for the men's rumble because I come prepared. Number 1, Titus O'Neil enters the rumble and he gingerly walks down the ramp, poking fun at the world slide. He gets to the bottom of the ramp, everybody cheers, and then he just goes about his business. Number 2, Rhea Ripley enters the rumble and accidentally eliminates Dominic. And then Ray starts laughing his ass off. Number 3, Rob Van Dam is going to be an entrant. He reached out to WWE last year. They never returned his calls. This is a Triple H production now. I see that being a thing. Number 4 was Boogs coming back and eliminating Nakamura on purpose. 5, my heart prediction, which I know it's probably not going to happen, but I want Big E's music to hit so fucking bad. So bad. And then number 6 was my winner, so we'll just wait. Who else do we have in the chat? We got people saying Riddle. Ray eliminates Dominic and Rhea wins. Judgment Day moves to SmackDown. So many clickbaits on YouTube saying The Rock is entry number 30. Listen, if they're ending the show with Roman versus KO, when do you think The Rock shows up? Based H is going to be all out tonight. Feel like it's one of the best kept secrets on who wins. Riddle, Randy, Boogs Cruz, Jay White, Nakamura. Any other names coming to mind for you two boys?
So I was definitely thinking Jay White. He wasn't a return, so it's
more of a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, I deliberately didn't mention him, but I do think in some form or fashion, either him or Tamatonga or Hikuleo, one of the New Japan people shows up in the Rumble as a payback to WWE for letting Carl Anderson go over and
Naka.
fight. And Naka but different promotion, but still being able to share their wrestlers and get some make good back on it.
Someone in the chat just said Austin wins his 4th Rumble.
Austin's coming. I mean, with the glass shatters. I mean, like I said, this is a Rumble nobody's expecting.
And it's in Texas.
Shatter. I mean,
he's in shape still. Have you seen the Instagram videos? He's taken care of himself.
He looks great.
Yes. He looks amazing. We got some people in the chat throwing out some NXT names. Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. I can see Braun Breaker. Like, if that music hits, I'm just going to start barking.
Give me the music. Everybody that doesn't watch NXT is going to be confused. They're going to be like, is Steiner coming? What is?
I mean, kind of.
A
mean,
Steiner, yes.
Kind of. If you want a friend, get a dog. Anyone from NXT you want to see other than Braun?
Cameron Grimes.
To the moon.
Give me Cameron Grimes.
Isn't
Finally.
he going to be in the Wyatt Six though?
Oh, who knows?
I know it was mentioned in the chat, and I was thinking at the same immediately. The Von Wagner, he's built for Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of him personally, but he is made for the almost stare down.
He's got the presence for it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. But I'm not gonna say I'm putting you on the spot because I did warn the two of you beforehand. But pick your winner.
How about we do ladies first this time?
No,
so we
pick
don't
your
get
winner.
yelled-
So we don't steal your thunder.
Yes.
What thunder are you gonna steal? We can all have the same winner.
That's not what it sounded like 5 minutes ago.
That wasn't picking a winner. That was picking an entrant.
So my final four, and then I'll go into my winner. I have a final four is Cody, Seth, Brock, and Sammy. I'm gonna go to Sammy route as winning, just because I think Cody is eliminated. Cody and Seth cancel each other out. My fifth person that's outside of the top four is Bobby, and they work themselves out, and then Sammy wins it.
All right.
Flo? I'm pretty close to you, except one major change. I have Seth Rollins. I have Cody Rhodes. I have Sami Zayn. And as my fourth person, I have the right-hand man, Jey Uso.
Ooh.
My final two are Sami Zayn and Jey Uso.
Oh, he's doing that, huh? Does Jay just yeet himself over the top rope out of loyalty?
What happens in this situation? I'm not sure. I'm going to give Zayn the edge, but I would think that ending would definitely have everybody in the WWE universe and beyond on their feet.
Oh,
and
man.
Ready for the conclusion. But there is my swerve in the mix that I think that would be money.
Damn, I'm just gonna sit and let that.
Yeah.
Damn, I wasn't expecting that at all.
It's pretty strong.
I am shook. In terms of my final four, I'm with you guys on Cody, Seth, and Sammy. I don't think Brock and Bobby will eliminate each other that close to the end. I think it will be earlier, closer to when the second one of them enters the match, because they're just going to be so fueled by hatred that they immediately eliminate each other and just brawl all the way to the back. So I don't see that happening. A fourth? I'm going to throw out Grayson Waller. I can see him entering and eliminating Braun leading up to their match at Vengeance Day. And then building some more heat. And then hey, look, I can do swerves too. Do you want me to say LA Knight?
No,
because I wanted to, because he doesn't wrestle till the third match. There's no reason why he can't enter the Rumble. All right, I'm changing my pick. LA Knight's gonna be in the final four. Yeah, huh? I said LA Knight's gonna be in the final four. Yeah. And Sammy's going to win. We're all picking
I like
Sammy.
the fact that we all picked Sammy and not Cody.
You don't give a guy 1,825 vignettes and then he wins the Rumble.
I agree.
There's no way.
And you don't give the first AEW defector the prime spot in the Royal Rumble as soon as he comes over. No, you
because then you'll have people. Yeah, exactly. It'll be like, oh, you're just giving him this because of his name, blah, blah, blah. Not going to mention Charlotte. But that is all right. So Donjay has Cody, Brock, Seth, Sammy in the final four with Sammy winning. Flo has Seth, Cody, Sammy, and Jay with the Sammy and Jay main event stare down. Sammy winning. I'm going Seth, Cody, Sammy, LA Knight because y'all trolled me into it. And and Sammy's going to win that one. I think that's going to set up a hell of an ending. But before we skip to that match, we're gonna try to go in order. The match after that is the Raw Women's Championship between Bianca Belair, the champ, and Alexa Bliss, the challenger. Now, when this match was made on Raw, it was kind of hinted that Bliss would pick the stipulation, but to my knowledge, it hasn't been announced yet. So we don't know what kind of match this is going to be, do we?
It's going to be a Bianca win. That's what kind of match.
Well, yeah, but like, is it like a regular one-on-one? Is it a no disqualification? Is it falls count anywhere? Like, I feel like it's not going to be a clean one.
I mean, no. I said earlier it's going to be the pitch blacker match. They're just going to turn the lights down a little bit lower.
The pitch gray match, because it's before the pitch black match.
Sponsored by Sweatpants Everywhere. No. But I think it'll
pants everywhere.
Costco pants.
Yep. But yeah, that's the big question: is what exactly are we heading in? They didn't really allude to anything. Like the Raw promo heading in was pretty weak. We got more out of it the week before, and it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna have a match. What's gonna happen in it? I mean, there's pretty much no expectation other than what Don J said. I can't see Bianca somehow losing. I think this is kind of what we expect in the match after, where there's going to be some type of transformation, so to speak, or when female Uncle Howdy shows up, as we call him. We'll be able to see where this story's going for both of them. I think Bianca moves on, and I think Bliss turns into something a little different.
So you're saying Bianca wins?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll never go against Bianca ever. I mean, she could beat Roman. You know this.
So you're both saying Bianca's gonna win?
Yep.
You're gonna hate me.
Nope. We know you're wrong, but
I think Alexa wins. I think Alexa wins. Hold on. I think Alexa wins with Howdy interference, and then I think Bianca enters the Rumble and wins. God. And goes one-on-one with Charlotte at Mania for the final boss.
You just skipping all over the place.
You're goddamn right I am. Well, y'all were like jumping down my throat right away. No Chris Collingsworth. Oh. Like, shit.
We were going.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that. Oh, shit. She got a point. Hold on.
I can't see another Bianca Rumble. I mean, if they're going to give her the Austin treatment, but I mean, I'm having a hard trouble with all the other matches and everything Bianca went through, seeing her take the L tonight. Or maybe it doesn't end naturally, and that's how she retains the title.
Anything you want to add, Don J?
I think I agree with both of you. There's going to be some shenanigans. I think Bliss gets some assistance. Maybe we get Crazy Nikki and all of Sanity in her back.
Oh, Crazy Nikki.
Because Crazy Nikki is fully back, and I think that there's a possibility. I don't see Bianca losing just because they want her to be the champ at WrestleMania. Even if at worst, Bliss could possibly win it and then Bianca wins it at Elimination Chamber, but I don't see a scenario where they take the title off of her.
All right. That's fair. I just feel like I really want to see this Bianca Charlotte match sooner rather than later so we can move on to other things. Because Bianca has beaten every one of the 4 horsewomen at pay-per-view except Charlotte. And with what's going on in the SmackDown women's division, I can see Bianca making that jump to give them a little more substance. That's maybe where my mind was going. But yeah, I think we're going to be a little upset. I don't want Bianca to lose, to be completely clear. I want her to hold the title until she dies. I love Bianca, but I do see Bliss taking the belt off of her in some kind of a pitch gray leading into the pitch black something or other. I don't know. It's hard to tell because, like I said, they never really gave us the stipulations for the match, so I don't entirely know what to expect. I feel like we're missing that. Anyways, that is the women's title picture. Match number 3. Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay out for this segment.
Literally, the only note I wrote was yeah.
I mean, I'm just ready for the masterpiece.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Storytelling. I mean, that just like I mean, even if the gimmick match route, whatever they do, I mean, you have LA Knight and you have Bray Wyatt in the same.
It has to be a gimmick match, right?
Well, the question is how much wrestling are we going to get in it? That I guess is the additional question on it.
How do you even win a pitch black? But is it the first person to turn on the light? Is that?
It's a light switch on a pool match.
It's a light switch on a pole match. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's baby lantern versus big lantern, and whoever lights their lantern first wins. Is that?
I'm here for it. I don't care what it is, and I think that's kind of what we're all expressing.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we're sitting here saying, "Hey, we don't even know what to expect in the Bianca Alexa match," we probably know even less going into this one.
Right.
We don't know a damn thing.
So many variables, so many etc. I mean, is Uncle Howdy pulling Uncle double duty tonight? Probably. So I mean, I'm just ready to see the story. I mean, it's absolutely nuts that a match like this, the story that's going to come from it, is on the Royal Rumble card to begin with. So I really don't. I will say I do think Wyatt gets the win at the end, based on whatever the final tell to this story is that moves on. But regardless of what it's going to be, I just look forward to seeing it.
I'm just looking for the theatrics. Like I said, the match is secondary to me, as in terms of who wins and who loses. But just as Flo alluded, the story is what keeps me going for it, and just the two big personalities that are involved in this, and how LA Knight is just a megastar in and of itself, and then you put Bray Wyatt, who's one of the most creative minds WWE has seen in at least 20 years, and what they're able to accomplish with no restrictions, as opposed to previous restrictions under previous regimes may have put on Bray. I feel like the only restrictions that they have is to make sure that nobody literally dies.
Well, and that the lights stay off. As long as it's not a red light.
Exactly. Yeah, that's no fiend light. No fiend light for the. That's the only.
I do need to give a shout out to this comment in the chat that I'm really trying to stifle my laughter. How do you win a pitch black match? It's the first person to drink 3 2-liters of Mountain Dew pitch black.
I got this. Tag me in. When I seen it back on the shelves, I immediately bought a couple 12-packs. I'm not sure if you've had it, but this is.
I don't think they have it up here.
It is great.
America gets all the fun flavors. I don't even know if that's in Canada. If it is, it's probably Toronto. I'm not flying to Toronto for Mountain Dew.
I'll have to see if I can throw a can in the package, but I'm not sure if they will.
What package? What package?
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. All right, so the chat is saying, other than having to chug Mountain Dew, which I think is hilarious. Sanity return would be excellent. Eric Young return in the Rumble, possibly. Night up due to Bo Dallas, who we are assuming is Uncle Howdy. Really hoping Triple H does right by Bray. I have given up hope on good follow through with his story arc. Excellent point. I've touched on that previously when we've talked about Bray on the podcast, and even pre-podcast, I've had countless conversations with Don J about how I felt about Bray Wyatt, and I really want to like him. And everything was beautiful up until the time it came to be executed, and I just was so disappointed. So like you guys were saying, the match is secondary. I just want to see some progression. I don't care who wins. I don't even know how you win. All I know is both men in this match the fact that they're trusting them to have a one-on-one match at possibly the second largest pay-per-view that they do, instead of putting them in the Rumble match, they're giving them their own spotlight for this. I see it elevating both of them. And rightfully so, I think.
100%.
It's
I think-
it's just
yeah.
gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be so good. Yeah. No, you don't. Let one out of your system so we can move
Yeah.
on.
Got one.
All right,
Yeah.
Dante.
Yeah.
All right, on to the women's match. We got it. We got it out of our system. A surprisingly low number of announced entrants for this. Pleasantly surprised though. Would you say?
Making up for last year. Making up for last year when they announced 27 out of 30, and I think
Unreal.
2 of them were expected.
Yeah.
That was their strategy last year, and I think everybody hated it. This year,
I'm in the minority. No pun intended. It doesn't bother me when I know
No.
who's in it.
This
I
man
don't
said
need to
no
know
pun
what-
intended.
Right. But or the surprises, it doesn't bother me if I know people ahead of time. I've avoided it this year on purpose. But that type of thing doesn't really bother me. Just because of the fact that early on, when they first did Royal Rumbles, we knew everybody. And then they picked their number, and we knew a bunch of people picking their number. And I wish that they would go back to the number piece. But knowing versus not knowing doesn't bother me in the slightest.
see, my thing is as it goes on and you get to the final 10, it's like you know what's coming. I still want to have that unexpected moment
Mm-hmm.
as much as I did in the first number that I do in the 27th, 28th, 29th. And that's what I feel that it's lacking when I know everybody. It was like, I think last year, what was it, Trish at 30? Everybody knew she was already announced. It was like, oh, well, this could have been a big moment, whatever. And it was just, well, we already knew it was coming. We're just waiting for the
Mhm.
music. Now we're sitting there. You hear the buzzer, 3, 2, 1, and you're just on the edge of your seat, like,
So fuck your rules, man.
play me some
Lita's music hits and I lose
Yeah.
my shit.
Yeah. So that's my justification of it, is to where when you get to the end, it's like we need to know more. We need to know less. Like,
Yeah.
I still want to have the feeling every time that timer goes down that I don't know what's coming until the last person.
But yet, when you get down to like you've got 28 announced, you got 2 numbers left, and Shayna hasn't come out yet. Like,
And I think for me,
Shit.
at least with the women, I think it doesn't bother me as much because there's really only so few women that could potentially win it, and they load
Right.
so much of the women roster up with alumni and NXT, where you know that there's no way that this many people has a real shot. So it doesn't bother me as much in the women's side, just because of the sheer number of main roster women versus alumni.
all right. Surprise entrant for either of you. It could be a return. It could be someone from an outside promotion. It could be someone from NXT. Just someone that
Everybody
isn't,
knows
someone
who I
that
want.
isn't, yeah, someone that isn't announced that you think could get a really decent pop when they show up.
They need to give me Sol Ruka from NXT. That's
Damn
what
right.
I want. That's what I need. My number 2 is, now that the other problem's away, give me Naomi back. Give me both of them, and I am.
This man said the other problem. This man said problem.
Me. Excuse me. Really?
Wasn't coming back beforehand.
Yeah, she got a name though. You don't gotta do her like that.
Don't y'all this. This is flow. This is
No, I know.
all flow.
It's all flow. Yeah. You've said that you like her in the ring.
I do. I love her in the ring when she's
Yeah.
in the ring. Yeah.
What's her
But
name?
I call her Sasha. What's she going by now? Mercedes.
Mercedes. So yeah,
Mercedes.
now that now that Sasha Banks, otherwise known as Mercedes Moné, is not going to be with WWE anymore, we assume that opens the door
Maybe.
for Naomi to come back. I said we assume. Doesn't mean it's true. But yeah, Naomi could very well come out, and that would be fucking amazing. I agree.
I fully agree.
Yep.
So
Anyone else,
I
Flo?
have.
Sorry,
You
Flo,
got
did
anybody
you
else, Flo?
just did you have
What
just
was
those
that?
two, or you had Sol Ruka and Naomi? Did you have anyone else?
Those are my two surprises I want to see. If you give me those two, I am completely content with anything else you throw in that rumble. But those are the
Excellent.
two that I want to see the most. I'll take them in the ring at the same time. Give me
Ooh,
the double duty.
Spot Fest.
Yes.
Yeah. Just give me those two in the ring. Let's start it out like that. And then just delay the number, let the numbers malfunction, and 10 minutes later we'll start the actual rumble.
Yeah. Let
But
Naomi
those are
enter
the two-
first so everyone gets to embrace her.
Yes.
She gets the big ass entrance.
But
all right.
yes, those two are my big two to see.
Donjay?
I am a big Mickey mark. Would love to see Mickey show up again.
With the belt again.
With the belt again. They did her so well last year,
Yep.
and then with the reconciliation and after the trash bag crap.
It was
And
wonderful. It really
it
was.
was
To see
fantastic.
that
So-
get reconciled.
So I'd love to see her again. My other guest surprise is Kyrie. I would love to see her there, and which would bring Sasha / Mercedes there, which would potentially build a stardom relationship with WWE and lead into their match next month.
All right. So Donjay once again living rent free in my head. I also had Kyrie Sane as a surprise entrance. Whether or not Mercedes comes with her, I'm impartial to. If they do want to, like, I would not be upset if this means a stardom partnership with WWE, especially with how fucking terrible the women's division is on SmackDown. And by that, I mean, they're not pushing anybody. Not that the people there are bad wrestlers, but like, we've been crying for some kind of direction to take place. If that's what sparks it, I'm not mad. Not mad at all. But I see Kyrie. I hinted at this a while back. I think Mandy Rose comes back. I think this entire thing is a swerve, and she comes back with Toxic Attraction.
I hope so, but I mean, we'll see where that one's going. At the beginning, I kind of thought swerve. Now I'm kind of in the middle. But hopefully, I mean, she was at the top of her game. She needs to come back.
Yeah, when she was released, I think the first thing I said was she'll be in the Rumble. I don't know. I think that's still something that could happen. My other notes for this Rumble, I also want to see Sol Ruka. If you've listened to our previous 2 episodes of the podcast, you'll know that all 3 of us are incredibly high on what her potential is. Would love to see her on this stage, give her the atmosphere, let her get used to it, put her against the main roster talent, even if she's only in for like 5 minutes. I'd hope they give her more, but like, just get her the reps and let her see what it feels like to be on the big stage and get her used to it, because all she needs right now is time. I see Raquel going on a big mommy cool run. I see her eliminating like half of the field. I don't think she's going to win, but I see her setting like a Kane type record where she just eliminates so many people. Let's see, what is the chat saying? Chelsea Green would not be mad at that. Santina gets eliminated by his daughter. Cora Jade, Mandy Rose returned. Listen, Phoenix, we share a brain apparently. Molly Holly, Kana, Dark Asuka, anybody? We need to see a Soul Snatcher in the Rumble. Zack Ryder comes back. Woo, woo, woo. We never mentioned him in the men's Rumble, but I'm here for that. See, here's the thing. WWE never actually said she was released. It was just thrown around. Yeah, I don't see it being... We could probably talk about the Mandy Rose situation for a very long time. I do kind of think that she's going to be there, though. All right, gentlemen, pick your final four if applicable, or your final situation, and then pick your winner. Start with Donjay.
Okay. So my final four is Beth, Rhea, Raquel, and Liv. I actually think Raquel is going to win it. It's so on the nose that everyone says Rhea, 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 which makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that because they've been building her up so much, that Raquel has a real legitimate chance to win this and swerve everybody's thinking with Rhea.
And you know what? I do like that you mentioned Beth, because you did pick Edge to be a surprise comeback in the men's Rumble as well.
Mhm.
And Beth and Rhea have some unfinished business. So to
They
see
absolutely
them
do.
in the final four, I see I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Flo?
All right. So my final four in this one, going with my storylines, is it doesn't include the favorite. I have Shayna Baszler, I have Ronda Rousey, I have Becky Lynch, and I have Raquel. I do have Rhea and Beth meeting somewhere in between and not being in the Rumble anymore. But that is my theory on that. The finish that I can see is you have your two faces against your two heels. The two heels get the better of Becky. Becky gets knocked out. And then they target Raquel, but Ronda decides to take some liberties and chuck Shayna over the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
Might set up a little something else. And while she does that, Shayna's yelling, and Raquel eliminates Ronda and
You got to
wins
get
the
out of
Rumble.
my brain.
Look, see, we both said Raquel.
And Raquel.
You got to get out of my brain, except I picked Bianca, not Raquel. I touched on it earlier. I do, going off of the women's championship match, it's not uncommon for the person that loses the title match to enter the Rumble. So I did say earlier, I see Bianca losing the title. I see her entering the Rumble. I see her winning the Rumble and challenging Charlotte at Mania for that 4 horsewoman completionist storyline. Final four: Shayna, Ronda, Raquel, and Bianca are who I have. Any other points?
Give us some SmackDown storylines. That's all I ask.
Please,
Yeah.
God. I do actually. I was thinking about typing in the Shayna Ronda thing. I know it was said they want to go for the tag titles, but the women's tag division is just so non-existent. I'd be more than fine with them feuding with each other as singles.
I do think Bailey, Damage Control turns on Bailey. I think that implodes in the Rumble tonight.
Ooh, Io with the
Thank
chair, Shield style.
Give it.
Wish, but I think they both turn on Bailey, and in that,
I would love that. Bailey was better as a heel by herself, in my opinion.
And they'll still live forever with us with the verb damage control. So
yeah, it is in Webster's dictionary. It is in Webster's dictionary. All right, the last match of the night.
here we go.
You have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Which one of you would like to start this off?
I think I'll take a promo to start this one.
All right.
there you go.
Let me go promo mode here. So if you look back in probably the last 10 years of the Royal Rumble, and you ask yourself, which was the match of the night, the most spectacular thing that happened in the Royal Rumble? At least half of the time, it involves the man by the name of Kevin Owens. Absolutely steals the show at the Rumble. He doesn't even have to be in the Rumble, but he takes it over. And the last time they were at the Royal Rumble, we all know what happened in the last man standing match. I'm not sure if Mr. Heyman has learned how to work a lock yet. Kevin Owens should have won that night.
You mentioned that on SmackDown too.
Yep.
He's still on that lock.
He's still working on it, trying to get that lock undone. So yeah, the ref just stops counting. But yeah, that match, with the exception of that moment, was absolutely amazing. You could look back. I highlighted a bit in the Discord server that what was it? Kevin Owens and
Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose, that was it. The lookalike. But yeah, you had Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens for, I believe, the Intercontinental title, and it absolutely stole the show over the Rumble, everything along the way. So this match is going to be absolutely insane. It's just billed as a regular wrestling match this time, which is fine by me with the two competitors we have in the ring. I'm sure we'll see some more people like we typically do in Roman matches before the end. But this is the first time, I think, in Roman's entire run where I'm not 100% pressed that Roman's going to win. I know I might be crazy. I know people think it's coming.
I was going to say biased.
Mania. Maybe I'm biased.
I was going to say biased, not crazy, but I understand it.
But I think there's a chance here, one way or another, that Kevin Owens might actually have an opportunity to take over the show and win the titles.
All right. So that's your prediction is Owens is going to win?
No.
Oh. Swerve.
There has been no greater chance for somebody to win, but I still think Reigns figures it out some way.
Yeah, but I think that Roman continues. I do believe that Sammy somehow, some way is involved in this. And I'll go a step further. I think he ultimately turns on the bloodline, and it's not them turning on him, because he's always been the master strategist. When he was the IC champion, he was a master strategist. When he had that 3-way ladder match, he was always thinking and found a way to win the title, because he's always thinking. And they kept saying, if you got to think 3 steps ahead, he's probably thinking 3 steps ahead. And then like I said, I'm going to go a step further. I think that him and KO win the tag titles at Mania. And I think it's all comes to a head based off of my initial prediction of Sammy versus Roman at the Elimination Chamber, which builds to that.
Hold on. But you said Sammy wins the Rumble.
I know. Why
would he challenge for the tag titles at the Rumble at Mania?
Because he's going to challenge for the Universal title at Elimination Chamber.
But that's not how it works if you win the Rumble. You main event WrestleMania.
However, there is precedent for it to be done prior to WrestleMania in order for them to give a different narrative. So there is precedent for doing it the pay-per-view before.
Okay.
You want to main event it, but my thought process again, because Sammy is a thought, he wants to get this over with. He gets home field advantage at the Elimination Chamber in Montreal, as opposed to going to LA where Roman has his family and everything like that. I think he challenges for it in Montreal at Elimination Chamber.
All right. I follow you. Just wanted to make sure I understood the storyline that you were going with in your head, because I'll get confused like super quick. So my thought process here, Roman retains. We did say at the beginning of the podcast, if somebody is going to surprise show up in a pay-per-view, when do they normally do it? At the end of the pay-per-view. Can anyone possibly think of somebody that could surprise show up at the end of this match after Roman wins the title?
Stone Cold! Stone
Cold! It's Chris Jericho. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking The Rock is going to show up. I don't know if he's going to cost Roman. I don't see that happening. So what I see happening is Roman retains and then Sammy stares him down to end the pay-per-view. I don't need The Rock showing up. I've said that for the last couple of weeks. Everyone's like, but this is like the final boss. This is the passing of the torch. They don't need to pass the torch. Roman's been holding the title almost 900 days. There is no torch to pass. I'm sorry. Just because he's Samoan doesn't mean they need to pass the torch. I would pop if his music hit. I agree with that comment in the chat, but I don't need to see it. I might be in the minority. I don't need to see it. I see Roman winning, and I see Sammy like just standing at the top of the ramp, looking at Roman and pointing at the Mania sign, and then they go off the air. Probably boring. Probably a boring prediction. But that's how I see it shaking up.
They owe us a nice, easy, smooth one after the contract signing went haywire. So,
did it go haywire though, or was it exactly what you wanted to see?
It might have been what I wanted to see, not exactly what I predicted. I thought it was going to be our moment. I thought me and Don J had it right. They were just going to put pen to paper.
I was just
yep.
Like they really let him hit 2 moves on Roman, huh? And then we had that whole trial thing, which was
They can listen to the previous podcast for our views on that.
Absolutely. I'll even plug that in the chat for them. Let's see. What is the chat saying? Sammy as special guest referee? That would be interesting. Owens wins, setting up Sammy versus KO at Mania. I wouldn't hate that. Would love to see Sammy turn on the bloodline, but leave with Solo. Roman will drop at Mania. It needs to be at the big dance. Yeah, that's the other thing is he's been basically untouchable for, like I said, almost 900 days. Does he have to drop the belt at Mania? Is that the occasion? Will it feel like a letdown if he drops it at a pay-per-view that isn't Mania on that biggest stage?
No.
I
think the story is the story. And he can drop it at one other than WrestleMania. I think the bloodline story is the story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I alluded to earlier with the Bray and LA Knight. It didn't matter which pay-per-view you put this on. We're just got lucky that it's on the Rumble card as well, to the point that it's insane. Is the story so good right now that, I mean, you could put it on a Wednesday night main event and it's still what it is.
Right. What else do we have? Rock shows up to screw Reigns. Rock shows up. Sammy wins, gives up his shot as a gift to the tribal chief. They turn on him at some point. Then him and KO dismantle the... Ooh. Sammy wins. Sammy wins the Rumble and gives up his spot. So he... Oh, wow. How do we feel about that?
The final test Roman was talking about.
Yeah.
That could go into my original theory of my men's Rumble with Jay and Sammy. Mm-hmm. Sammy, you're supposed to let Jay win.
I don't need The Rock, but I pop for it. I don't want to see The Rock. Seems unnecessary. Sasha returns at 30, wins the Rumble. We had a Sasha mention, otherwise known as The Problem. I'm totally kidding. Just bugging you, Flo. Honestly, see Sammy and KO reuniting Steenwolf to best the Usos at Mania in a ladder match. So we have a couple different Mania scenarios playing out in the chat. We have people saying KO and Sammy going for the tag titles at Mania, or Sammy going for the title at Mania. The Hogan finger poke returns on Sammy. Thought about that. Is the champ match opening? It's closing the show, footers. It is closing the show. So it's not like KO loses, enters the Rumble, and wins again like Brock last year. Because we all needed that to happen.
My only thing with Sammy being the main at Mania is I don't want it to be a Daniel Bryan, Kofi situation where, yeah, they won it. What do you do after that?
Right. So you're thinking Elimination Chamber then? Montreal Boys for life, as Heyman said.
Yep.
All right. Love Sammy, really do, but don't see him challenging Roman at Mania. All right, so Sammy at Elimination Chamber and then Sammy KO tag titles at Mania is what we're kind of leaning towards here.
Sounds good to me. I mean, like I said, there's so many directions, and I don't think I'd be mad at any of them.
Right.
It's
As
like,
long as
just,
Brock doesn't come back and win it.
please no, Brock, calm down. Let somebody.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that, especially 2 years in a row, especially with somebody else at the helm.
Yeah. I felt like maybe that was Vince's safe card. Or sorry, the old white elephant in the room. I'm not supposed to say his name. It's like Voldemort. Yeah, that seemed to be like when in doubt, call Brock. I don't think that's necessary anymore. So we'll see. Rumble weekend leaves a lot to be excited about. We have touched on all the matches on the card, so let's just do a quick little recap. Kicking things off, we have the men's Rumble match. Don Jay's surprise entrance, Logan Paul, Edge, Jay White, Tama Tonga. Final four, Cody, Brock, Seth, and Sammy, with Sammy winning. Flo's surprise entrance, Logan Paul, Riddle comes back, Cameron Grimes. Final four, Seth, Cody, Sammy, and Jay, with a Sammy Jay stare down for the final two, and Sammy wins. My predictions were all over the place, so I'm just not going to get into, well, I mean, I should probably. Cody, Seth, Sammy, and LA Knight, because I got goaded into it. I wanted to say Grayson Waller, but chat started to give me a hard time. With Sammy winning, I want to see Boogs come back and eliminate Nakamura. I want to see RVD. I want to see Rhea in the men's Rumble, and I want Titus to get his entrance right. Moving on to the women's championship match, Flo and Donjay have picked Bianca. I went the other way, much to the surprise of people. I think Bliss wins, setting up stuff in the women's Rumble. The Bray Knight Pitch Black match, Flo is the only one that gave a prediction, but I think we all agree that we're just kind of excited to see what happens storyline wise. I don't really care who wins, as long as Bray doesn't lose clean. I feel like that would be the only thing that could possibly go wrong in that match, is if there's no interference and Bray just loses.
For the record, I do think Bray's going to win.
Okay. You do think Bray's going to win? I don't think he wins, but I think it's because Uncle Howdy does Uncle Howdy things. Bray losing clean would be a problem, because that would go back to the point I was saying earlier about how there was always incredible buildup and then it would just fall flat. So I'm scared of that happening again. So I hope that doesn't happen. Women's Rumble, surprise entrance for Donjay, Mickie James, Kairi Sane, Mercedes Moné, possibly setting up a Stardom partnership, which would be fantastic. Final four of Beth, Rhea, Raquel, and Liv, with Raquel winning. Flo wants to see Sol Ruka and Naomi, don't we all? Final four, Shayna, Ronda, Becky, and Raquel. Shayna and Ronda kind of jaw at each other a bit, and Raquel wins. I want to see Kairi. I want to see Mandy Rose come back. I feel like that's going to be a thing. I see Raquel dominating. I want to see Sol Ruka. I see Bianca entering the Women's Rumble after losing the belt and winning to challenge Charlotte at WrestleMania to complete the 4 Horsewomen storyline. I don't remember who I said were my final 4. I'll just listen to the podcast back. Available on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And then the championship match, we have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. We all see Roman retaining. And do we see The Rock coming back, realistically?
I'm going to say yes.
Good chance. Good chance.
All right.
I think we get the end pop.
Like you guys said, I don't need it, but I can see it happening, and it would not bother me in the slightest.
All right. Yeah, and I'm the same. I don't need to see this. But if his music hits, I'll lose my mind, because I always do when people's music hits. It's just goosebumps. And to hear Michael Cole say, "Oh my God," I obviously can't do a Michael Cole impersonation very well. It's nothing like my motorcycle impersonation, or my Paul Heyman one. But yeah, I see maybe The Rock comes back. That's been the hint. Sammy probably gonna do Sammy things and gonna further put cracks in the Bloodline Foundation. And that's the card, folks. So one last question to the two of you. I know Rumble season is super exciting. Do you have any Rumble traditions?
Eat a lot of snacks.
Snacky snacks.
Yeah, in this house, it's like the Super Bowl. You plan out the food, new course every hour, snacks, make sure you're compared, ready to go. Then my other tradition is during the Rumble, I keep a little stat tracker throughout the entire Rumble, so I know who came in when, who eliminated who has all the eliminations.
Listen.
I'm listening.
I know we joke about gold flow being a thing. But when you told me last night about that sheet, I actually had to go into my Google Sheets and delete the one I was making. Because I was making one.
Yep.
Because I'm like, we're totally going to need this for the podcast. So I'm just going to pre-make a Rumble tracker. And then Flo is like, oh, I got to go update my Rumble tracker. I'm like, you're what? And then he sends me the link and like my heart just like fell into my feet. I was like, oh, okay. I'll just I'll just put this away. Like, god damn it.
Yep.
It's
the Rumble.
All right, last thing I want to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 30. Your favorite number. Just between 1 and 30.
Oh,
15.
my favorite? 27.
15.
All right, and mine's 14, so no reason. no reason why I'm asking for a number for the Royal Rumble. But that is going to conclude our Royal Rumble pre-show prediction podcast. Gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming and doing this today. A special 1 hour, one-off. You can see us doing this for Elimination Chamber and other pay-per-views as well. But thank you again, guys.
Love it.
Yep. Enjoy the Rumble. It's going to be crazy.
Yes, sir.
Again, the WrestleMania sign is hanging up at the Alamo Dome. Tune
Hopefully
in
it doesn't
tonight.
catch on fire.
Hopefully it doesn't catch on fire. You know it would be because LA Knight
Yes.
is a whole lot of man, and if he was any more a man, there'd be two of them lighting the sign on fire, and I would not complain. I dig.
All right, I'm
yeah.
done now. I'm done here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for tuning in, and enjoy the Rumble.
Yeah.